Commonwealth of Virginia. Let me explain to you what you did with the election of, I call her Abigail the Unaffordable. Um, we're gonna bitch about that right now. We're gonna go back a little bit here. We're gonna talk about Winsome Sears. She was a Marine. I'm sure you all know that. Um, little Virginia history, real quick. Actually, American history. L. Douglas Wilder was the first black man to be governor of any state in the Commonwealth or in the country. He happened to be the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia back in the 1980s. Um, he was a good governor, actually, really good. I just turned 50 yesterday, as a matter of fact, so I do remember him, believe it or not. What we could have done, we could have been the state that also elected the first black woman to be the first governor in the history of this country, which would have been amazing when you consider the fact that where I live at, about 15 minutes down the road, is where the first 29 African enslaved came at Point Comfort in Phoebus, at Fort Monroe. First 29, 1619, probably, that's what I'm talking about. 1619, the first enslaved Africans arrived here, right down the street. And then this is the part that nobody knows about. This part that nobody talks about, and it pisses me off. The very first reading of the Emancipation Proclamation occurred at Hampton University, in front of the Emancipation. It was Hampton Institute back then. In front of what was now called it's the second most famous tree in the world, the Emancipation Oak. So the Emancipation Oak is right around the corner from Fort Monroe. And Fort Monroe inside there has this thing called Freedom's Fortress. Because when the Emancipation Proclamation was read, the people who lived in Phoebus, they got up and they headed to Fort Monroe because Fort Monroe was still under Union control. You didn't want to be in Virginia as a now free person, and with the Confederacy right outside. Fort Monroe never fell throughout the whole war. What people don't realize is Freedom's Fortress is quite literally about 500 yards away from where the 29 came ashore. You know what I'm saying here? It came full fucking circle. Where bondage began is where freedom started. It's right down the street. For that to happen, for things to work out the way they did, for the first reading in the South of the Emancipation Proclamation to occur in Virginia at Hampton University with Phoebus, the actual descendants of the original enslaved Africans still live in Phoebus. I used to live on Libby Street over there. So, I mean, the fact that you guys, and you listen to Obama. Obama came here and started talking this shit, and he basically said, vote for the white lady, not the black lady. I wasn't voting because black or white. I was voting because Winsome Sears was already a lieutenant governor. She was a Marine. She's an immigrant. I was a Navy corpsman, so it kind of matters. Abigail Spanberger. She was CIA, which means she was a spy. I don't know. You guys see what she's doing now. You passed. If you cared about changing history, you just passed the opportunity to do it. Virginia could have been like, we have been leading the way in this shit for forever. We were the spot where the first biggest mistake took place, but they started correcting this shit like in 1863. I mean, it upsets me. It really does. I used to be a Democrat too. In other words, I changed my affiliation with parties because I'm also a veteran who served in Afghanistan, and if I have to explain that one to you, then I'm just talking shit at that point. You don't know shit. Oh, that's right there. I mean, that's as local as it gets. I'm from this motherfucker. I serve in this motherfucker, and I live in this motherfucker. And I'm as local as that goddamn boardwalk down the street. And it really, really upsets me that you voted for this lady, it's Abigail the Unaffordable. The chance to make history, man, that would have been massive. But you don't know your history, so you just blew it. Good job, Virginia. Good job.